friends, today I have a guest who is hypnotherapist and mental wellness coach. Why do we need mental wellness coach in our life? Because our subconscious has so many powers, so much we don't know how to deal with it and don't know how to use it to get what we want. So let's take the help of mental wellness coach Judy, who can help us take our subconscious mind in our hands. Let's welcome Judy. Hi, Judy.
Hi, Rupali. Thank you so much for having me. I am excited to be here today.
Yeah, me too, to have you. So tell us more about you, why you are in this field.
So my journey started in grad school, so almost 20 years ago, and I have a background in social and clinical psychology. And I always felt led and that my purpose was to help others to overcome any of their mental health issues or any of their blocks and really be able to achieve their goals. And so I went that traditional route and was in grad school for clinical psychology when I found hypnotherapy and absolutely loved it. I was drawn to it right away because I knew that from all the research and the statistics and everything I was learning that I could help people get to that end goal faster. It's a lot more direct route, like you were saying, into that subconscious mind. Instead of talking in circles for months, we could do in 6 sessions what I would normally be able to do in talk therapy in a couple dozen sessions. And so that's really where that started. And then I actually became business owner myself. Also, when I was in grad school, I decided to start a business on the side so that I could pay off all those 6 figures in student loans, and got really involved and interested in working with female entrepreneurs. And so over the years, I started doing image consulting and teaching people how to interview and the psychology behind that, and really doing some business coaching on that end. And I kept seeing when I was working with those entrepreneurs and working therapeutically completely separately, right, at that time, I kept seeing with them that they would know exactly what they needed to do in their businesses or in their lives to reach their goals, but they couldn't get themselves to do it. And they were so frustrated and upset because they couldn't figure out why they couldn't get themselves to do it. And I thought, okay, light bulb, I know how to fix that. But it wasn't in that coaching realm that I could do that. It was more through that hypnotherapy side. And so I decided to bring the two together and create Psyched Up Success, which is my mental wellness coaching and hypnotherapy business, where I help all sorts of different kinds of people, but I really love working with entrepreneurs. That's my specialty, to really tap into the power of their subconscious mind to help them overcome those blocks so that they can up level in their business or reach their personal goals. And so that's how it all began and how I got to where I am today.
Wow, awesome. So you have the hands-on that, okay, talk therapy is okay, but we need a little bit subconscious mind to handle it better. So let's talk about, as you said, that you work with entrepreneurs. So what do you think, like when someone wants to start a business, it's like inner talk going on. Where should I start? Oh no, I cannot do that. It's not my forte. Or maybe everyone says I'm not good enough. Or maybe I'm saying that who am I to start a business? I don't know anything. I didn't do it. So can you handle this situation?
Absolutely. That is very, very common because your subconscious mind is storing everything, right? It's where everything goes, all of this data, all of the interactions you've ever had with someone, everything anyone ever said to you when you were growing up and as an adult, it all gets stored in there. And what happens is that the negative sticks out the most. So the negative, and so if you have a negative words, for example, and an emotion attached to it, that really stays with you. And your subconscious mind is really designed to help protect you. And thousands of years ago, it was to protect you from a tiger or something. But now it's trying to protect you from any kind of danger, even just discomfort. It's trying to protect you from feeling bad and being scared to try something new, for example. And so all of those little negative things, those little nitpicky things that somebody might have said, or that you might have thought someone thought about you from all of those years ago, will crop up. And so those doubts and that negative self-talk will come up, because your subconscious is just trying to protect you and try to keep you comfortable. And we all know when you're trying to start a business or build a business, comfortable is not where you need to be in order to grow. And so you can absolutely work on that. We can work on self-talk and really looking at those statements that you say to yourself. And I think the first step is truly awareness, paying attention to what the thoughts are, because so many times all of these thoughts, we have this banter in our mind and we're not even paying attention to it. Right. It's just something that we don't even think about because we have thought it so many times. They say that out of all the thoughts that you have in a day, most of them, over 80%, are going to be thoughts that you thought yesterday. Mm-hmm. And the majority of them are also going to be negative. Right. Yeah. So definitely the first thing is to figure out, what are the negative thoughts? What are those limiting beliefs and those negative thoughts that keep cropping up for you, so that you can change them?
Okay. The first thing is be aware that you have negative thoughts.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Be aware and be aware of what they are. And I teach my clients to write them down. Okay. So as you have them, write them down and then say them out loud. That's one of the keys, because if you say them out loud, sometimes they don't even make sense. They're just silly or ridiculous, or they're really mean, to be honest. It is amazing what people say to themselves that they would never say to someone else. So I have this exercise that I do. And actually I work with clients one-on-one, but I also have a course that I teach this in, called Emotional Empowerment Project. And it's really an amazing exercise, because you write down what those negative thoughts are and then say them out loud to yourself, but then practice. So I do believe in affirmations, but I also believe that sometimes the way we teach affirmations doesn't work because you don't believe them. Right. And so you have to believe them. So this is a process to help you believe it. So what you're going to do is you're going to write them down, say them out loud to yourself, and then say them out loud like you were saying them to someone else. So let's say it was me and I was saying, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough. I'm never going to be able to get this thing off the ground. Well, what if you were saying to me, oh my gosh, I'm going to start this business and I'm really excited about it. Would I ever say to you, oh my gosh, you can't do that. You're never going to be able to get that off the ground. Right. No, right? I wouldn't do that. I'd be encouraging and supportive. And so once you practice imagining and saying it to someone else and you realize, gosh, would I ever talk to my best friend or even someone I barely know like that? Why would you talk to yourself that way, right? And so then what you want to do is you want to figure out what are compassionate statements that you would say to that other person. So let's say we're going to reverse it. So instead of me telling you, oh my gosh, you're never going to be able to do that and get off the ground, what if I heard you say that after you said, oh my gosh, I'm really excited to start this business, but I don't think I can do it. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to get it off the ground. Well, as your friend or someone being supportive of you, what would I say back to you? Tell me some supportive words that you could say back to me if I said that to you.
No, you have so much experience in life and you are an awesome person. I trust you. I have trust you.
Yeah, see? So now what you want to do as you're journaling all of this out is you want to write those out and say them to yourself.
Awesome.
So it's like having that conversation back to that part of your brain that says, no, you can't do it. It's like, here's the reasons why you can.
So it's like you're talking to a child who is tantrum and doesn't want to do anything. And he's scared, he doesn't want to explore anything. And you are talking to him, soothing him. It's okay, it's a new step. Go forward and do it. You are confident. You are awesome person. So you want to talk to him like that, to your subconscious mind?
Absolutely. That's a great analogy. To be able to talk to that inner scared child of yourself, right? That version of you. It's like, I don't know if I can do this. You say, yes, you can do it. And then when you're writing those affirmations, so when you're done with all of this and you do want to write affirmations for yourself, the way to make them believable is to use some of those statements that say why you can do it, but then also to use believable statements. Like, I am becoming an amazing business owner, versus saying, you know, I'm a millionaire, and your subconscious mind says, no, you're not, liar. You say, you're learning and you're growing and you're becoming more prosperous every single day. If you're saying something like that to your subconscious mind, it's like, oh, that's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're in the process of doing. We're learning, we're growing, we're making money every single day and bringing that into our business. And then it will work to make that happen, versus just calling you a liar and moving on.
That's true. It's like you're putting finger on someone else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Judy, as you said rightly that you don't know how to do affirmation. Everyone says that, okay, be in present. Your sentence should be in present tense. That's it. And you can say anything that your subconscious mind will take it. But as you said that it should be gradual. Like, why should we do that, right? So can you tell us more about that? Okay, we did affirmation. And it is a slow process, right? You are doing affirmation. What is the second step we can do to accelerate this self-confidence or just changing our talk?
So the next step would be in really creating a vision of your future self. So you want to create as vivid and detailed a picture as possible of who you want to become and what you want your life to look like. So you want to be able to use all of your senses with this. And if you're picturing when you're the successful business owner, for example, of what are you going to look like? How are you going to dress? Who are you going to be surrounded with? And, where are you going to live? All of these things, really as detailed as possible, of what that future self and that future life looks like that you're growing into, and really who you're going to be, the attributes that you're going to have. How are you going to stand differently? How are you going to speak differently? Are you going to show that confidence? And are you going to use some different language, right? Mm-hmm. Really that detailed picture for when you achieve your goals. And then when you're doing that vision casting, really, mm-hmm. you want to take some time to really get that picture vivid every single day. So write it out, all the attributes, all the details, everyone you're going to be able to help and support through your business. And then at least daily, but I always recommend morning and evening, right when you get up and right before you go to bed, just imagine being that person. And one of the things that I do when I work with my hypnotherapy clients is I actually teach them how to step into that future version of themselves and feel it and see it and become that, and really over time, as they practice that and then say those affirmations about who they're becoming, they will move in that direction. So that's definitely the next piece to that, to make it real and tangible.
That's great. Can you teach us a little bit that step, that how can we go into our future self? How can we step into our future self?
Yeah, absolutely. So that first thing you need to do is to have the details so that you know ahead of time what you're doing. And then all hypnotherapy really is, it's a deeper form of meditation. Okay, so you're starting with that meditation state that a lot of us have been in. You know, even if somebody's been in a yoga class before, they've had that last 5 minutes of class where they have you close your eyes and focus on your breathing and your body, and you're still aware of everything that's going around you and where the instructor is and maybe cars driving by, but you're just tuning that out, right? So if somebody's not familiar with visualizing and meditation, anything like that, that's a good way to think of it, is you're just really focusing, which is why it's good to do right when you wake up and right before you go to bed, because you can do that just in bed if you want to, just for a few minutes. And so I do recommend, you know, laying down, relaxing, closing your eyes, and really starting to picture. Now everyone's really visual. I work with people who, you know, are more visual, who are more auditory, who are more kinesthetic, so they feel things more than they see them. But that's why you want that vision to cover all of those bases, so that whatever triggers that feeling for you of being that future self, you'll cover that in that vision. So some people really can see it. And like, oh my gosh, I can see what it's going to look like. And some people are it's more of a feeling. So it's okay. Don't beat yourself up if you can't see it. It's all right. It's a skill that you can practice over time, that you will get better and better at, of being able to really sense those things. But just go through those attributes in your mind. And so whether you can see them or not, it's okay. But just go through who you want to be and where you're going to live, and who you're going to surround yourself with, and who you're going to help, and what that income or whatever those goals are for you, what is that going to allow you to do, and just play it out like a movie in your mind. And that is really the way to start practicing doing that. What we do, like in hypnotherapy, is that's the beginning part, and then we go deeper and into doing that healing work and go into more techniques. So, you know, absolutely, if you are somebody who's like, you know, I really want to learn more about that, reach out for support, because it is an amazing way to learn how to take more control of your subconscious mind, to work with it. You know, I really think it's more about working together, and taking those parts of you that wants to reach your goals and the parts of you that are resisting, and coming to an agreement. That's one of the things that I do in my sessions, is we do have some of that talk you were talking about, like you're talking to that inner child, and helping to really agree on a path to move forward so that it gets its needs filled, but then you can get to where you want to be. But that's a great technique. Like I said, just doing more of a meditation on your future self and getting to where you can feel that you are that person. Over time, you'll be able to, but getting to feel like you are that person as much as possible. I can do it really quickly in the hypnotherapy, but you can do it on your own as well. It just is going to take a little time to build that muscle.
Mm-hmm. Hypnotherapy, as we hear hypnotherapy, it's a scary subject. Like, if some person who doesn't know what is hypnotherapy, the first question comes to mind: will you possess me? Will you make a slave of me? Like, I will be in hypnotized moment, and will I just follow you? So would you like to tackle that?
I would love to, because that is a huge misconception. And so what I do, I described kind of that first meditative state, right? So we go into what's called a trance state, but you're in that state all the time. You go in and out of it constantly. So it's the same state of mind Like I was saying, when you're first waking up or getting ready to go to sleep, it's like you're kind of sleepy, you can hear everything, you know what's going on, but you're just kind of half in and half out, right? It's also happens a lot. It's very common when you go into what we call autopilot, right? When you are driving home from the store and you've done that route a million times and your mind is wandering and you're thinking about something else, but somehow magically you get home safely and just fine. It's the same state of mind. So know that that's a very natural state to be in. You're in and out of it all day long. Whenever you're not thinking about something in the present, you're in that trance state. So that's the first piece. And then the second piece is that what I do is very much client centered, in that each person, I have a lot of different techniques that I can use within hypnotherapy, but it's very centered on the person I'm working with at that moment. And I don't actually do suggestions. Suggestions is where someone, old school, you would think about listening to like a hypnosis tape when you were asleep that would tell you to stop smoking or stop going to the refrigerator in the middle of the night. And it would just constantly be telling you over and over again, like what to think and how to feel. I do not do that. Okay. That is not what hypnotherapy is about in the modern sense. And in what I do is it's more of a conversation like you would have in a coaching session or a therapy session, where you're in that more relaxed state, so that we can calm that front of your mind down. So how I think of it with your conscious mind is it's that part of your mind that we just need to bring down the defenses a little bit, so that it doesn't always have that comeback that we were talking about earlier, right? So you're thinking, oh, I'd love to do this. What makes you think you can do that? We need to calm that part of your mind down a little bit. It has that block right here in the front. And so we're going to calm that down so that we can really find out what is going on and what is behind those statements that you can't do it, and what do you really want to do, and why do you want to do it, and what are the benefits going to be of doing that, and what are the benefits of not doing it. And so we're really diving a little deeper under the surface so that we can access that subconscious mind and have it work with you instead of against you. And so in that, we would just be having a conversation where I would ask you a question about, for example, tell me what you are wanting to do, and tell me why you're wanting to do that, and go ahead and tell me what the benefits are if you do go that direction, and what are the benefits if you don't take that chance and go that direction. And we're just having a conversation about that. So we are talking back and forth. I'm not just planting things in your brain. I don't do that. But the thing that I think helps the most, and this is for me because I get it, we like to be in control. And I'm I'm no stranger to that, is that you are truly in control the whole time. That's what people, I think, are scared of, is they're scared that they will be completely out of control. And you will actually be aware the entire time of what's going on. You'll remember everything that we said and did. And if you are not ready to share something with me, for example, as a hypnotherapist, you don't have to. If you're not ready or you don't want to disclose that, you can control that and you can stop yourself from doing it. So that, I think, is the key, is just knowing what the experience is going to be like, but then also knowing that it's okay, that you aren't going to be completely out of control. You're just going to be more relaxed, and we're going to be able to get to the heart of the matter more easily, instead of just talking in circles over and over again about the same thing for months on end. We can get you the results faster and get you moved on to wherever you want to go.
Wow, great. But there is one more concept. I am not hypnotizable. Like I heard many people saying that you can get hypnotized, but I'm not able to hypnotize, and nobody can hypnotize me. Is there any, that concept is also there? Like some
it's effective at whatever level people go to. So if you can literally, like I was saying earlier with the yoga, right? If you can lay down and close your eyes and just relax and breathe and then we can talk that way, it'll work. It'll work just fine. There's different techniques. They're called inductions. It's just relaxation techniques. So if you've ever done like a progressive relaxation where it's like, okay, relax your toes and then your feet, your legs, you move up, do something like that just to help you relax your body. Again, that just helps bring down some of those defenses. But there's a lot of times that people are more resistant, and that's okay. We can work with whatever level that you can go to. And again, it's that muscle that you can build, and over time, you'll get more comfortable with it and you can go a little deeper with that. There is actually, so people who take certain medications, there is actually some medication that will keep them from feeling like they're under hypnosis. They will be, but they don't feel like they are. And so there are people out there that does happen to, but it's still effective because of just the techniques that we're using and that we are having that conversation. So, if you were somebody who, back in the day, was trying to listen to those hypnosis tapes that were just like, think this, do this, feel this, like you are this person, then maybe not. It might not have been effective for somebody if they weren't receptive to it. Mm-hmm. But in the modern way, that client-centered way that I said that I work, absolutely, it's effective no matter what level of relaxation you can attain.
What are the challenges you face when you have clients?
So when I have clients, there's definitely some of those misconceptions. That's the first challenge, is really getting them comfortable with what does that mean and how does that work with hypnosis, right? So that's definitely a challenge sometimes because people just aren't really aware of that. And then for me, it's really working with that person. So it's not so much the challenges that I'm facing as really the challenges that they're facing, because I'm going at their pace and I'm going with them where they are leading. Mm-hmm. And so that's the nice thing, is that it really is centered around them and they are coming to me, so they're open to it. When I was working with court mandated people, for example, that was extremely challenging because not all of them wanted to be there or wanted help. But I found that if you're seeking out coaching, if you're seeking out hypnotherapy, then you're ready and you're willing and you want to do the work. And so there aren't really as many challenges. It's just getting those misconceptions taken care of, really having them understand what the process is, and then just trying it to see how that works for them and going from there. And I do coach as well as do the hypnotherapy. And so the nice thing is, there's been a lot going on in the world in the last 6 months. And if they just need to talk, we just talk and we just do coaching, and it's okay, right? If they need to work on some deeper issues, we do the hypnotherapy, that's wonderful. But I let them really take the lead. And so it takes some of those challenges out of it for me, because I don't attach to that outcome. I just let them lead and I follow. And so it really is a great experience for both of us then, because I'm not trying to, reach a certain goal. I don't have an agenda that, if we don't get there, it's okay. It's wherever they need to go at that moment in time.
Okay, what are the mistakes you think you made in your business when you started or now?
I think everybody makes mistakes along the way in their business. And, I definitely have grown and learned a lot over the years. And, just how I run my business now, I've gotten a lot more support in my business. So delegated a lot of things so I can really be present with my clients. The best thing that I ever did was decide to get a bookkeeper and accounting team to where I didn't have to deal with any of that, because I remember back in the day sitting for 3 days going through all the papers for the taxes and being completely stressed out. So I should have done that sooner, to be honest. But once I did, I was so happy. It's the best investment. And then also, sometimes you try something and it doesn't quite work. You try a marketing technique, something like that. But I'm very fortunate that I have always sought out people that could help mentor me and really work with me through those challenges. And so I just believe that every mistake that we make is just a learning experience. It's not a failure per se. It's just like, okay, I learned from that and now I can move forward better. But one mistake that I think we all have made, and that it's really easy to make as an entrepreneur, is not prioritizing self-care and trying to do everything yourself and be in control of everything all the time. And like I said earlier, I'm no stranger to that. I have had to learn those lessons of, okay, I can't do all things at all times without completely burning out and running down my body. And so I definitely have made some mistakes with that and had to learn that, I need to ask for help. I need to take time for myself. And so now I have my schedule to where I have completely off times. I don't feel like I'm running it, even in my mind, through my business 24/7, because that's a trap I think that we can fall into as entrepreneurs. So that was definitely a lesson that I had to learn. My body told me no, that you can't do this anymore, because that's what happens is if we don't listen to our subconscious tell us to slow down and tell us to stop or whatever it is, it will make you. So a lot of times it can physically stop you. And that happened with me with some chronic pain. And I work with a lot of people with chronic pain. My body was trying to tell me, okay, slow down and stop. We need a break. You need to take care of us. And I wasn't doing it. And so I've learned that lesson now, but that definitely was something that I would say, like I said, I think of them more as learning experiences than mistakes. But yeah, that's definitely a pitfall that I fell into for a while.
Wow, that's awesome. So, what do you think I should have asked you that I didn't?
Oh, my goodness. So I think you asked me really great questions, which is wonderful. But I think that maybe just how someone can get more familiar with the things that I do and what what avenues they can take if they need more support in that area. I also have so I work with one-on-one clients. I have my course, and then I have a group program. So maybe you could even ask me just what what ways I work with my clients, like what kind of programs I have or something. So I do have one-on-one clients. So I work with people privately and do private sessions for coaching and for hypnotherapy. But then I also have my course, the Emotional Empowerment Project. It's an 8-week course, and it really helps work on all of those emotional strength and resiliency pieces. It helps increase your emotional intelligence. I teach people how to gain more confidence, how to live in their values. I love helping people find their purpose and be in their passions and be in alignment with their values. So we talk a lot about that. And then I also teach how to have healthy boundaries and relationships and how to be more assertive. That's something that I had to learn. I was very shy and reserved growing up, and for me that was one of the most valuable things I learned in my education, was that assertiveness piece and how to create those boundaries and how to be more confident. I'm still an introvert, but I absolutely love connecting with people, and so I learned how to do that more confidently. And then the third piece I have in my programs is I have a group hypnotherapy program, and so that's a really great program for people who are wanting to maybe deepen if they've already had a meditation practice, or learn how to be more mindful and learn how to create a meditation practice and try hypnotherapy and see how that is. We have different topics each month. So we work on things like opening yourself to prosperity, making great choices, tapping into your intuition and your inner wisdom, all sorts of things. And so, at whatever level someone wants to really improve upon themselves and tap into their subconscious and really get to the heart of who they are and that inner self that we were talking about, then I have different options for everyone.
That's great. Okay, so tell us, what should a person take away from this interview?
So I think what they should really take away from this is how powerful their subconscious really is, and we don't even know it. And so I would love for them to take away to just have more awareness, to really start paying attention to those words that they're saying to themselves and to those feelings that they're having, and really start thinking about, where did that come from? How does that work? How does my mind work? And that they can take away from this some of those tips on how to work with their subconscious and to be able to access that to their benefit. I would love for people to be able to take that away from this interview, because I think it's so important and it's so often overlooked.
Thank you, Jodie. Thank you very much. It was a great meeting you.
Thank you so much, Rupali. It was wonderful meeting you too. Thanks for having me here.